In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 techniques of how to keep your feet cha-ching, warm in the cold while you're adventuring in the outdoors. Tip number 1, make sure to plan your campsite. I cannot emphasize that enough. Don't just go out and, hey, I'm going to set my tent here because who knows? Maybe there's a breeze that comes through. Maybe there's a cold sink that happens. Maybe you're sleeping under trees that when they freeze are going to chop you. Now, when you're looking for a campsite, you got to consider weather, wind factors, also animals. And even though animals don't affect your feet being cold, you staying up because you're freezing, because you're fearful of animals coming and chomping and stomping you, that will make you tired, which in turn makes your feet cold. Yes, when you are fatigued and you don't get enough sleep, your feet will actually get cold. It's a physiological response where you're worn out and you're sitting there freezing, and even though you got a nice hat like this one from the Kiki Gallery, you're like, brrr. Yeah, so plan your campsite so you don't have stress and you can sleep well at night. The second tip, avoid hammock tents. Now, I know there are some YouTubers, I think Shug, he loves hammock tents, totally does it, but he puts a huge amount of effort into it. And the reason why I personally avoid hammock tents is because once I'm suspended in the air, that air flows under me, and just like when you drive over a bridge and it's the warning signs say, warning, bridges ice up before the road, that's because there's convection and airflow under the bridge, which causes it to freeze more quickly than sleeping on the ground. So going for the hammock option, if you really want to do that, be very cautious because there's a good chance you're going to make your feet very cold because you are going to be cold. That leads me to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is avoid sleeping in depressions. No, not where you got to take a pill to get out of depression, and I'm not making fun of depression. It's a major serious problem. But if you sleep in a depression, you look around the landscape and you say, oh, there's this nice bowl in the snow or in the ground where I can go set my tent and it's protected. That's not where you want to go. You don't want to sleep in a depression because cold air tends to flow down into the lowest area, which would be a depression or bowl in the landscape. So if you choose to sleep at least on flat ground, if not a slight elevation, just a slight elevation over the lowest portion of the area, that will actually keep you much warmer than if you sleep in a ground depression, tempting though it may be. And the number 4 tip for keeping your feet warm in the cold is use waterproof barriers for your sleeping pad. What does that mean? Well, here's the weird thing. When you're camping in your tent here and you're sleeping on the ground, your body generates enough heat. You are worth a 100-watt light bulb. Incandescent, folks, not LED, old school incandescent. That's how we engineers calculate heat temperatures. The human body, rough adult size, generates 100 watts of heat. And in your sleeping bag, you will generate that heat. It will drive to the ground. Your tent will actually get wet under you because you are melting the ice, the snow on the ground below you. So make sure you have some sort of waterproof barrier, whether it's your tent service, your sleeping pad, or whatever it might be, to keep you dry, because once your back melts the ice and snow and your sleeping bag starts to get soaked, I promise you will wake up soaked on the bottom, freezing, and your feet will be cold because you were cold. These tips and more are in my book, the How to Keep Your Feet Warm in the Cold. Sorry, it's been a long day of YouTubing here. How to Keep Your Feet Warm in the Cold. I have 100 tips, over 100 tips to help you keep your feet warm in the cold. So to recap, plan your tent where you're going. Avoid hammock tents unless you're really prepared to deal with it out. Don't sleep in depressions, and make sure you have some sort of waterproof protection so that you don't get soaked from the water pressure coming up on you. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional adventurer. Please check out links below to my books, How to Keep Your Feet Warm in the Cold, Antarctic Tears, where I take you on a 3-month journey to the coldest place on earth. Folks, I've been there. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell so you can get more videos like this.